Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. Today's video will be day 10 of Battle for the Borderlands. The fight today will be between the Savage Orcs and the High Helms. Let's go ahead and take a look at the warbands and take a look at the board. Our first warband is going to be the Savage Orcs, led here by our Savage Orc leader Kratak. Now he is joined by his 3 dogs of war. We have an Orc boy who is our regimental standard. We have an Orc error boy who has the last chance, one use only roll to hit. And the third one is a Savage Orc with Kragis's pick, which gains the armor piercing special rule. That will be good against the Silver Helms. And now in addition to that, we also have another Orc boy, another Orc error boy. We have a Stone Troll, and finally another Savage Orc. So there you go, approximately 100 points of the Savage Orcs. Our second warband now is the High Helms, and that is going to be led off here by our leader Tannobror the Immortal. And he is joined now by his 3 dogs of war. One who has the spiky shoulder plates, plus 1 special rule for impact hits. And we have one with the club with a nail in, which will be good for combat once the lance has been used. And finally we have another one with spiky knee pads, which gives the bearer the stomp special rule. Now all of these guys have Ithamar barding on their horses, so there's no penalty there when they mount, and they have heavy armor, so for a 3+ save. And the leader here has a shield as well, so he has a 2+ save. And there you go, 100 points of the High Helms. Here is the board we will be playing on today, something of an abandoned city that rings around an ancient shrine, something like Stonehenge with some sort of magical, mystical orb in the middle. Fairly open board, which will be good for the High Helms to do some charging, but there's also a few places that those Savage Orcs will be able to hide themselves. Well, let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to deploy first. High Helms with the yellow dice and the Savage Orcs with the green. Tie, 4s each, and it will be the Savage Orcs deciding deployment side. And here we have our deployment set up. We've got just a nice line right here, keeping our Stone Troll close to our General and close to that banner for rerolls on stupidity tests. Over here we've got our guy with our single shot, and we got another archer over there. If we come across to the other side, we've got our 4 Silver Helms lined up here between these buildings. Really no great place for them to go. We need somewhere where they can be out in the open, and it looks like they will have at least some sort of line here that they can take the charge. Let's go ahead and roll to see if the Silver Helms will be able to begin. Silver Helms deployed second, so on a roll of 1 to 5, they decide who goes first. And the Silver Helms will take the first turn. Okay, let's go ahead and make some movements here. I think I'm actually going to maybe try to split these guys up a little bit. Let's go ahead and march with these guys. We'll put this first one right behind this stone. Second one, let's bring him right behind that stone, getting some cover. This one, let's send him up here into this little place in the middle. And finally, let's send the last guy around the edge as well, so he can go up and make a movement right there. So there are their final positions, and that is the end of High Helm turn 1. Okay, Savage Orcs, we have no charges to declare, but let's go ahead and move some of these guys up. We'll leave our archers where they are to take some shots, but let's begin to spin a little bit and push this way, putting some pressure on those Silver Helms. And that's our final positions there. Shooting phase, let's go over here first, and we'll take a shot with this guy over onto that High Helm.
And if we come down here, you can see that we do indeed have line of sight.
Long range hitting on 5, no miss.
Next thing, we're gonna go ahead and use this guy right here, and he has a line of sight on that High Helm on the side of that rock. We're gonna use his single use shot here, which means that he will be in short range. and if he hits, it's an automatic hit, automatic wound.
Okay, this could be potentially huge. If we hit, it's an automatic wound with no armor saves allowed, which means we will kill him on the roll of a 4+, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. Oh, it's a 3. And that brings us to the end now of the Savage Orc turn. Let's go down here and turn us over to game turn 2, Silver Helms. Charges to declare. Let's go ahead and declare a charge with this guy onto that Savage Orc, and the Orc will hold. In addition, let's see, do we have line of sight? We do not have line of sight from this guy over here, but we have line of sight from this guy over onto the battle standard. Actually, let's not do that. Let's go onto the troll. That way we won't have to take a dangerous terrain test. And the troll will have to hold. Next, let's run over here and go from this guy, and he has a shot on that Savage Orc without any dangerous terrain test, so we will charge there. This guy, we won't be charging with him. Everyone over there is going to hold. All right, first one here. We need to roll a 7 to get into that guy. No, it is a 6, so he will be failing ahead 5 inches. Same thing with this one. We need to roll a 7, and there is a 7. Boom. So our leader will come crashing in, and he will connect with that stone troll. This guy right here now, we need a 4, and he gets it with a 6, so he will also come crashing into that Savage Orc. And remaining moves, let's have this guy just come right over here, and he will be outside of the average charge range of that Orc boy. Into the close combat phase, let's start with this combat right here, that High Helm onto that Savage. All right, here we go, hitting on a 3, and we got it. Wounding on a 3 because of our strength, no. And with the spiky knee pads, we will get an Always Strikes Last hit as well, wounding on a 4. But first, let's do the Orc. And we, of course, should not forget the Steed, who has an attack hitting on a 4 and wounding on a 5, no. Coming back now, we have a 2 attacks because of the Frenzy, so hitting on 4s, yes, wounding on 4s. There is 1, and we have a 3+ save. Oh no! Utterly amazing, I can't believe that. So they just killed him, but he has 1 stomp left on a 4. Yeah, that's a hit on a 4, 6+ save, no, so he's down to 1 wound at least. So removing him from play and putting him down to 1 move there. So our leader already has a kill. Second combat now, we have this High Helm onto that Stone Troll. And this is our leader with 2 attacks, so he's hitting now on 3s. Yes. Strength 5 because of the charge against toughness of 4, so we need 3s. Here we go. Oh no! And the Steed gets 1 attack hitting on a 4, wounding on a 5. No. 3 attacks from the Stone Troll hitting on 4s. And we have 3 hits. Wounding on 2s. And 3 wounds. The strength of the attack makes the 4+ save to a, a 2+ to a 4+. So here we go. Oh no! So that is the 2 wounds left of our leader. He is out. So our leader is now dead. And that now brings the High Elf Silver Helms below their breaking point, so they will have to roll next turn for the rout. Let's go ahead now to turn 2 for the Savage Orcs. All right, let's just do this. All out attack. Charge, hold, charge, hold, charge, hold, charge, hold, charge, hold, charge, hold. Wait a second, before we do that, this guy has to take a stupidity test. I forgot that on a leadership 7 with a reroll, and he gets a 6. So he is fine. He can indeed charge. All right, let's start with this guy. He's a 12-inch charge. He needs to show an 8. He didn't get it with a 6. Ahead 4, the same thing with this guy, and he gets it. And there are their final positions. Let's try now with our general. He needs to roll an 8, and it's a 7. No, he goes at 4. Next, Stone Troll. He needs a 6. And no problem with a 7. He is going to make it in. Oh, boom. Like so. And this guy right here with a double 6, yes, he will not be able to make it in, so we will keep him 1 inch behind. Finally, over here, this guy rolling 4, no, he's going to fail ahead 2 inches. So 2 inches will bring him right there. Shooting phase, we've only got 2 targets. One of them is in combat, so let's go over here. That guy there and that guy there. And he is actually just out of range, so we will actually have to move him in the movement phase before we go ahead and move on to the shooting. Now we can shoot with the penalty for movement. So hitting on a 5, and he gets it. Wounding on a 4, and there is a wound. We have a not a save on a 1. Unbelievable. So that means we run over here. This guy actually got picked off by that orc error boy from a distance. We are down to 1 High Helm left. And speaking of that High Helm, let's run over here to this massive combat. All right, let's start out with our High Helm. He's going a direct attack against the Savage Orc, hitting on 3s, wounding on a 5, no. The Steed now, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 5, no. Savage Orc coming back with his Frenzy, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 4, ouch. 3+ save, here we go. Got it. And finally 3 attacks from the Troll, hitting now on 4s. There is 1 attack, one hit. Strength 5 versus 3 toughness, wounding on a 2. Oh, 3+ save is now made to a 5+. This is a huge roll. Oh, and he gets it. With that, we come to the end of that combat and the end of the Orc turn 2. We're going to go on now to High Elf turn 2, and we need to roll now for the route test. So at the start of High Elf turn 3, leadership 8. Here we go. And he gets it with a 7. All right, the only thing we have left is that combat over there. Let's try the same thing now with the High Elf hitting on a 3, wounding on a 4. We got it, and the Savage Orc has a 6+ save. No, so he is coming out like that. Next, let's have the horse attack the Troll. Hitting on a 4, no. Troll coming back with 3 hits, hitting on 4s, and there's 2 hits. Wounding now on 2s. And there are 2 wounds. We have 2 saves that we have to make, and our save is up to a 5+. So here we go. If we take one of these wounds, we are done. And we got 1, but we didn't save the other, which means that is the last High Elf Silver Helm that has been killed. And we didn't even get to a route test. The Savage Orcs just ran over this group of High Elves. So there you go, folks. A pretty quick match when the Savage Orcs just ran over the High Elves. And that was just an amazing game for the Savage Orcs. Let's go ahead and roll out on our leadership table now to see if we have any upgrades. So here we go. Let's roll this out. 9 plus, let's see. 2 gives us 11. Your leader gains either +1 strength or +1 toughness. Let's give him a +1 strength, and that will turn him into a strength 4 fighter. With that victory now, the Savage Orcs move on to the second round. And in the second round, they will be facing the winner of the next game, which is between the Skaven Knight Runners and the Empire Gunners. Well, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.